Good afternoon, everybody. Ian here with redlinestands.com, and today I wanted to do a shop video for you on drill bit sharpeners. Here at my home shop for years, I've been using the Drill Doctor line of drill bit sharpeners. This is their model 500X that I started with, and then I later upgraded to their model 750X. I've been using them for years, and recently at the FabTech Chicago trade show, I came across the folks from Darex, who have industrial American-made drill bit sharpeners. These things are really impressive, and when I saw them, I knew two things. Number one, that I wanted to carry them on our website for our customers, you guys. There's going to be a link down below in the description where you can see the full line of Darex drill sharpeners on our website. And the other thing that I knew was that I wanted to get one here into my home shop so I could test it myself, compare it against the Drill Doctors, see what the differences really were. Why is this thing worth 10 times more money than one of the drill bit sharpeners from the folks at Drill Doctor? So the purpose of this video is to share the results of my testing with you, show you what separates these things, and why Darex has a very superior drill bit sharpener. Okay, so before I get into the comparison, I want to first acknowledge that I realize, yes, I am not comparing apples to apples, and I am showing up to a knife fight with a gun. I get that. This is my model 750X Drill Doctor here, and I just want to preface the video by saying that in terms of, bang for your buck, these things are relatively impressive. They will put an edge on a drill bit, and they'll do it for very, very little money. So with that said, let's go ahead and put this thing down, and I'm going to do a little demonstration for you here of the Drill Doctor. Okay, so I've got a bit here that needs to be sharpened. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the little plastic chuck here, and I'm going to slide the bit into the chuck. I'm going to tighten it down, but not to the point that it actually locks the bit in place. Going to leave it just a little bit loose. And then what we're going to do is we're going to slide it into this this thing that basically clocks the drill bit. I'm going to set it here, in this case, at 118 degrees. And you notice I'm pushing down here with my thumb. Can you see right there, what that's actually doing is clocking the drill bit so that the bit is not too far like this way or this way. It's setting it in the proper rotational axis, if that makes any sense here. So with the thing set in place, I'm going to go ahead and tighten the bit down, tighten the chuck down right here. It's worth mentioning that the model 750X has a material takeoff knob on the back of it, so as you rotate that knob, it basically determines how far in or out of the machine the drill bit is going to go into it, and thus determine how much material is taken off of it. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and adjust it here. You'll notice that you've got a little gauge on this thing. I'm going to rotate mine to go from 135 to 118 right there, clamp it down in place at 118, and now we're just going to crank up the machine, set this thing in here, and start rotating it, basically letting it, kind of swivel back and forth in its natural cycle here. I'm not going to be forcing anything, so let's go ahead and sharpen this bit. Okay, so we've put a nice edge here on our bit. Now it's time to go ahead and put little relief cuts in to bring it to a nice crisp point. I'm going to go ahead and rotate it over to the side. This is the little insert area where you take care of that. So all I'm basically going to do is just kind of line up the notches where it goes so it allows it to slide in there. Then we're going to push it in on each side and do our relief cuts. So we have sharpened our bit, and let's have a look at it up close. Okay, so we've sharpened a bit with the Drill Doctor. We'll compare them here later. Now let's go have a look at doing the same thing with the Darex. All right, I'm going to start with the Darex since I know it will do it by giving it a pretty tall order in terms of repairing a bit. So I'm going to screw this one up really nicely. That ought to do. Okay, our first order of business is chucking our bit into the Darex chuck, and of course the very first thing that I notice is that we are comparing Chinese plastic to CNC machined steel, and just has a very, 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 concise feel to it here as I crank this thing down and load that bit into that chuck. Second order of business with the Darex, we're going to do the same thing we did with the Drill Doctor. We're going to slide the chuck into place. We're going to open the little fingers, slide the bit in there, and then let the fingers close so that it clocks that drill bit in here so it's not too far this way or this way. And I want to mention here that we have the ability to add plus or minus 3 degrees to this thing by rotating on this little handle right here. We also have a material takeoff gauge that goes from 1 to 4. Each graduation removes 5/1000ths of an inch. Being that I've torn this bit up pretty bad, we're going to go as far as it can go, and then we're going to lock it in place. Again, everything feels very machined and concise. All right, so it's time to go ahead and sharpen our bit. One of the first things that I want to show you is you've got a little thumb screw over here on the side that you can loosen and change the angle of your bit. I'm going to set mine to 118 degrees. The other thing I want to show you that's really cool is that you've got little bearings inside here so that as you're rotating your chuck, you know, that everything is rotating on those bearings, and it gives it a very, very precise feel to it. So let's go ahead and see if we can repair our bit. All right, so let's pull it out and have a look at it here. Looks like it's done a very nice job repairing the end of that bit. I don't know if you can see it as well as I can, but it looks fantastic aside from not having any relief to it. You'll notice that as the Darex is cutting, it's making those zzz, zzz, zzz sounds as you're cutting, you know, just like the Drill Doctor does, but they get lesser and lesser and they graduate down because you're removing so much material that you can actually hear the machine biting off less material each time. So it's done a really nice job of repairing it. Let's see if we can add some relief to it now. All right, so now it's time to go ahead and put some relief into our bit here. Basically what that does is bring everything to a nice sharp point. And the Darex, kind of like the Drill Doctor, does have a little dial that you can turn here on the back that determines the material takeoff. But you also have this added feature. You've got a little thumb screw right here that you can loosen, and then you can rotate this little thing and change the angle of the relief as well. I'm just going to leave mine right there, and you'll notice as well when I go to slide this thing in there, it's going only inside, can you see it, of that notched out area right there. It will only allow it to slide in one particular location, and again, you know, it's a very, very machined, precise feel to it. Here we go. You hear how quickly it removed all of that material? Rotated 180 degrees. We'll do it again. Get it to slide in. Okay. And as I have a look at it here, actually it's just absolutely beautiful. Let me show you in this photo here so that you can see what I see. The relief has been cut into it. It has brought the bit to a very, very nice sharp point there. It's not pulling off the material in the wrong place, and it just looks fantastic. Before I give you my final thoughts on the Drill Doctor versus the Darex, I just want to point out a couple of other little things. The Darex actually has a set of pull-out instructions on the front of it. On the back side of the machine, if you pull off this little cover, you can then install their little vacuum port right here so that you can then hook up a shop vac to the Darex to get all of the dust away, which is a decent amount of it. It comes with a little cover, just a dust cover, if you will. And the last thing I'll say about the Darex, I was really happy with the packaging. I love to see this foam, this self-expanding foam in the box. This thing is not going to get damaged in shipping, and I really appreciate seeing that. The one place that the Drill Doctor does win hands down is in the carrying case. I always appreciate seeing a nice beefy carrying case for my power tools. This of course allows you to transport them without damaging anything. In this category, the Drill Doctor wins hands down. All right, let's test our Drill Doctor bit with no pilot hole and see how it does on 1/8 inch mild steel. Okay, so basically it's just not starting the cut at all. Okay, fast forward, you can see I've given it a nice little pilot hole. Let's see what happens, how well it cuts, trying to open up an existing hole to a larger size. All right, I'm not sure what the problem is here, but I am struggling to get this Drill Doctor sharpened bit to do any cutting at all. I don't know what the problem is. All right, let's see what happens here with our Darex bit, no pilot hole. Okay, tighten my chuck a little bit there. Obviously my chuck's a little loose. All right, that cut drastically better. Let's see here, end of the bit, just looks fantastic. Okay, I have resharpened my Drill Doctor bit again. Let's see if it does any better this time. Still disappointing. All right, this time I went back and I sharpened the end of this bit with my 500X model Drill Doctor. Went over it a bunch of times. Let's see what happens. Okay, since I finally got this Drill Doctor bit sharpened up pretty good, let's try it without a pilot hole and see what happens. Okay, so there you have it. The Drill Doctor bit may be sharp. It was sharp enough to open up, the existing pilot hole, but in terms of starting its own cut like the Darex bit, there's just no comparison. Okay, so there you go. If we're calling a spade, the Drill Doctor, while it will sharpen a bit and, get the cutting done, it is an inexpensive, Chinese hobbyist tool. If you're trying to sharpen a lot of bits in a manufacturing setting, or you're trying to sharpen bits for a living, then the Darex is probably right for you. The biggest thing that it came down to for me was the relief. If you have a look at this photo of the Drill Doctor bit, the relief on it is just nothing like this photo of the Darex bit. At the end of the day, that relief determines, does the drill bit come to a point and is it sharp up to that point? And we saw that in the drill press when we tried to cut, using no pilot hole with the Drill Doctor. It just didn't want to do it. So, sure, it'll sharpen a bit, but you're getting what you pay for. The other thing that separates them is how quickly they can remove material. If you've got a badly damaged bit and you need to remove a lot of material to get it sharp again, the Darex is going to do that very, very quickly. However, the Drill Doctor, you're going to be there all day long. The other thing that is worth mentioning is the difference in the cutting edge and the finish. If you look at this picture of a Drill Doctor bit versus one that has come out of the Darex, you can see that, the finish, the cutting edge is just not the same quality. Okay, so there you go. The Darex wins over the Drill Doctor, and frankly, it damn well ought to, since it costs 10 times more money, right? Again, there's a link down below on our website where you can find the Darex and purchase those things. I'm also going to try and carry the Drill Doctors on our website as well, because naturally I realize a lot of folks out there are not looking to spend over $1,000 on a drill bit sharpener, and I get that. Lastly, if you want to make sure you don't miss any more of my shop videos, click the subscribe button down below, turn on notifications, hit the thumbs up as a personal favor to me. I appreciate you guys watching. I hope y'all learned something. You guys have a great one. Take care.